Welcome to another episode of Here's Why with Mark and Eric.
So Eric, what does a company gain by getting social media and SEO working together?
You know, the short answer is they gain leverage, but let me explain. The first thing you have to do is you have to create great content. And if you create great content, and just for example, let's say you publish it on your own blog, then the content would be good enough at that point that the social media team will want to share it because it will help them develop new followers and engagement with their social media stream, which usually is good for a social media presence. And that's the first part. But the second part is if you've built a solid social media presence, the sharing of the content will gain exposure for that content, which might end up driving links back to the content. And hence the SEO and the social media parts both benefit from doing this.
Well, if there's obvious benefits to this, why does it break down?
Well, it breaks down in three different ways. Right? One is that the SEO team sometimes creates poor content. And unfortunately, that's a little bit of the history of the SEO industry and one of the reasons why there's sort of this divide between SEO and social media. But as I said at the beginning, we have to just get past that. You just have to create great content. You can't be in the poor content business anymore. The other thing that can happen is the content might not be relevant to the overall marketing plan, and that's another place where this can break down. And then the final thing is the goals can be misaligned. So the social media team might have goals that make them feel uncomfortable with allocating some of their social stream bandwidth to post, sharing posts from the SEO team.
So if your business is in that situation, what can you do to change it?
Well, it's not that easy because sometimes it happens because of misaligned perceptions of and expectations of what both teams are trying to accomplish. But what you need to do is you need to get to a point, especially if you're on the SEO side, where you understand what the social media team is trying to accomplish. And then you now need to frame your campaigns in a way that helps them meet their goals. And once you've done that, you get into a situation where you can brainstorm the content that you're going to create from the SEO side so that the social media team participates in that brainstorming and that actually gets them engaged with and excited about the content that's going to be produced. It gets a little more complicated, by the way, if the content is not going on your site and you're doing a guest post somewhere. And then that's where it gets a little more subtle because you have to get into really selling their goals. So for example, if the goal is we need to get more engagement on our social media stream, well, you could do that with great content. Or if you need to get more visitors to the site, then you have to sell that you're able to grow the audience of the social media stream. So those are some of the things that you have to try and do.
Those are some great tips, Eric. Do you have any final advice for businesses that are struggling with this?
Well, yeah, I think the main thing is you have to learn how to sell your plan, right? And a thing where a lot of people fall down is they know what they're trying to accomplish, but the explanations of the sales process involves a half hour or an hour. You have to have the mentality. I like to say you have 5 slides and 5 minutes. If you can make the sale in that time, you're in good shape. If it's going to take longer, you're probably losing their attention.
Terrific. Thanks for that great advice, Eric. And if you'd like to review this or learn more about it, Eric's written a great post about this on Forbes that we have linked below. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Here's Why with Mark and Eric.